Wait, you're a Bears fan and you're not subscribed to my channel? Before this video starts, make sure to 1. Hit the subscribe button below to catch all Bears content right here on this podcast. 2. Hit the bell notification because you, my friend, are a diehard Bears fan. And 3. Like this video and tell all the Bears fans you know about the channel. Alright, that's better. Now that you're actually subscribed to the channel, make sure to bear down and enjoy this video.
You're listening to Keek on the Mic.
Keek on the Mic.
A podcast all about the Chicago Bears. This podcast starts right now.
Keek on the Mic.
Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Before I get this episode started, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on this podcast. Make sure you follow me on my Instagram page at Keek on the Mic, and make sure you share this episode of Keek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. So, first off, I just want to say thank you for everyone that participated in the Ask Me Anything. If you guys watched my last video, I said I would answer those questions on the very next episode of Keek on the Mic. I am going to answer those questions at the very end of this episode, so make sure you watch the full episode to see my answers to your guys' questions. So today's topic on the podcast is something that I wanted to talk about for a long time. As everyone knows, the draft is less than a month away, and the Bears hold the 20th overall pick in this year's NFL draft. There's so many different things, so many different scenarios, so many different mock drafts, so many things that the Chicago Bears can actually do in this year's draft. So my question for you guys to answer down in the comment section down below is, what should the Bears do with the 20th overall pick? And I'm going to give you guys 3 different scenarios, and I want you guys just to only choose one of them. So A, B, or C. So starting with A. A, stay put at number 20. B, trade up from 20. Or C, trade down from number 20. So let me know down in the comment section what you guys would do. To be completely honest with you guys, each of these options both have their positive and negatives about them. So starting off with option A, staying put at 20. The positives of staying put at number 20 is you still have a possibility to get the player that you want. If it's Christian Darrisaw, sometimes he drops. If it's Mac Jones, if that's who you guys want. If it's Caleb Farley, the cornerback, there's so many different options. If you stay put, you may still get the player that you want. And another positive about staying put at 20 is that you wouldn't have to give up any draft capital. I know there's a lot of Bears fans that are just willing to just stay put, don't give up any draft capital. If anything, try to gain more draft capital so we can add more talent to this Bears roster. Here's the negative about staying put at number 20. The players you want may not be there, and you take the risk if you stay put. So, for example, if there's any Trey Lance fans or Justin Fields fans, we know we're not getting Zach Wilson or Trevor Lawrence, but if you're a Trey Lance guy or Justin Fields guy, forget about it. They're not dropping all the way down to 20. You may get Mac Jones, maybe we get one of those stud receivers, but if you stay put at 20, you face the risk of not getting the player that you want. So now going to option B, trading up. The positives about trading up is that you will definitely get the player that you want. So here's how I put it. If Justin Fields or Trey Lance gets to about that 15 pick range, I probably make the trade up. I think that would be worth it for the Chicago Bears to go up and try to draft Fields or Trey Lance, because those are the only players I can actually see maybe possibly dropping in the draft. The negatives about trading up is you will have to give up some draft capital, and like I said, there's a lot of Bears fans that are not willing to give up draft capital. As we know, back in 2017, Ryan Pace moved up one spot to draft Mitchell Trubisky. He gave up 3 picks. So just imagine if you're trying to go from 20 to like 6, how many draft picks you will actually have to give up. That is something that I'm not sure the Bears can afford to do, but with a desperate Ryan Pace, who knows what's going to happen. I know a lot of Bears fans don't trust Ryan Pace, and I don't trust him either. I just need Ryan Pace to do the right thing. And if I had to put my money on it, I think if the right guy is there, like a Trey Lance or even Justin Fields, I think Ryan Pace trades up in this year's draft. So option C would be to trade down from 20. The positives about trading down is now that we gain draft capital. You're thinking about someone, let's say we drop from 20 to 30. We can possibly maybe get an extra second. We still get to keep our first, maybe extra picks even in next year's draft. So we're getting draft capital not only in this year's draft, but next year's draft. And you can potentially still get a pretty good player to help your team right now while also gaining draft capital. And I know a lot of people may not like what I'm about to say, but trading down, you can get the best tackle available, right, late in the first round. You get those extra picks. Maybe you get an extra second round pick. In the second round, you take a guy like Trask or Kellen Mond, and you can still get another offensive lineman. So I'm not sure how you guys feel about it. That's the course of action I would take, getting those extra picks. I don't think trading down is the worst case scenario. If the guy that you want isn't there at 20, this is also an option for the Bears is to trade down. The negatives about trading down is you won't get any of the QBs in the draft that you actually want. So all those top 5 guys, you're not getting them. And that's the only way I can actually see the Bears actually trading down. If none of those guys are there that they want, the top 5 QBs, I can see the Chicago Bears trading down, getting extra draft capital, taking an offensive lineman, and then taking one of those day 2 quarterbacks to bring in and hopefully groom them into what they want them to be. So I want you guys to comment down below, and how do you guys feel about all these positive and negatives of the 3 options that I gave you? So now, as promised, I am going to answer the questions from the Ask Me Anything from the last podcast. I just want to thank you guys once again. Anyone that did ask a question, I truly appreciate it, and your support of the podcast. So the first question is from Bulls190. So just beforehand, I apologize if I mispronounce any names. I truly apologize. But Bulls190 asks, are they allowing fans? Roger Goodell actually just came out, I believe the other day, and said that they are towards the path of allowing NFL fans for this upcoming season. I'm not sure if it's going to be like a percentage, but if it's at full capacity, be prepared to wear masks, follow COVID protocols, all that good stuff. But it is looking like the NFL will allow fans. The next question is from Terrell Ada. So they asked, I predict the Bears will go 0-17. What do you predict? I think if the Bears can shore up their offensive line, get the run game going, I think even Andy Dalton will succeed. And I think any quarterback can succeed with a good offensive line and a good running game. So the best case scenario to me would be maybe like 11-6 year with the added game, now 17 games. I think a bad year for Chicago will be maybe like a 7-10. I could see that would be their low. So the next question is from Holy Samurai Jerusalem. They asked, who is your favorite West Coast rapper, past and present, and who do you think the Bears should draft if they keep this year's first-round pick? So here is a confession to my fellow Bears fans. I actually don't listen to a lot of rap. I am a country fan, love everything about country music. I do listen to a little bit of rap, but if I had to choose a music genre, it would be most of the time country. But when I do listen to rap, I listen to an artist named Young Zell. You guys should check him out. He is legit. He is dope. I enjoy his music very much. So if I do listen to rap, it's definitely Young Zell. And if the Bears decide to actually keep their first round pick, I can see them either going with Mac Jones or Christian Darrisaw if he is there with their first round pick. The last question is from Karen Downing. They asked, why are the Bears not signing Allen Robinson? Karen, I really can't answer that because I don't know what the Bears are thinking. Obviously, they franchise tagged him. He signed the franchise tag. I believe the deadline is like July 15th. Hopefully a deal gets done. make sure everyone comments down below, hashtag sign A-Rob, because it's time. Everyone knows how important Allen Robinson is to this Bears franchise. So I definitely want to see Allen Robinson be a Chicago Bear for the rest of his career. So Chicago Bears, get this deal done with Allen Robinson. Once again, I want to thank you guys for the questions. I truly appreciate it. But before I let you guys go, make sure you hit that subscribe button below and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on my Instagram page at Kick on the Mic. And make sure you share this episode of Kick on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. But other than that, I'll catch you guys for an all-new Bears episode right here on Kick on the Mic. Thanks, guys.
This is a podcast all about Bears. You either cheering for this team or just pulling your hair. I like to take a minute, just sit right back and tell you how I became the #1 Bears fan. That boy is Benny Hunter. Cake on the mic, cake on the mic, cake on the mic, cake on the mic. People, this the intro. Sacramento, California, born and raised. And Antelope is where I spend most of my days. Talk bad about my team, you must be a clown. This is Keek on the mic, so you know you better bear down. Bear down.